Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Store. I apologize again, the video's late. We're also working on getting the new website up and running, so the office is a little bit crazy. But like we said on Friday night, we absolutely love the price action of the ASX 200. I think, for me, it's really, really bullish. Obviously, we need the Dow to behave itself, and I think if the Dow can behave itself, certainly we're set up to hopefully have a decent good green week this week. For me, it's definitely looking pretty, just pretty bullish. Um, just going back, first of all, what I'd like to look at very quickly is those stocks that we've put on as classic buy signals this week. And obviously, I think Aristocrat looks absolutely superb, and the setup had a nice little buy signal, as does the infamous Breville Group. Again, I think looks really bullish. Had this nice run up, came back, hit the long-term moving average, bounced off it, and I think that looks really good at the moment. IGO, this is one of our 3-year growth stories. This is one of our preferred plays in the resource sort of space recovery, and is a really volatile stock actually, IGO. So it's quite hard to sometimes to hold on to this story, but I think if we bought it on a long-term, well, bought it as 3-year growth, but on a long-term chart, it's doing the right things. Came back, hits that long-term moving average, and bounces off it very, very nicely. Monodelphous hitting up 4% at one stage today, hitting record yearly highs. A good green day today, and what a stunning looking chart. Sort of pretty has been obviously pretty predictable with this trend comeback, bouncing pretty nicely off these short-term trend lines, and arguably a bit of a breakout. If it can hold that sort of breakout by the end of the week, it would be very, very bullish. But I think certainly for me, on the Dolphins, it's looking great. NAB, and we were talking on Friday night, had suddenly the banks are sort of really perking up, and you could see it in the price action today. Again, just having a pretty decent day, and mostly in the green most of the day. Again, Suncorp, we like the trend. I think it looks absolutely fine. Maybe not as good as the others, but certainly it doesn't look too bad. And then a little stock we never talked about before in Equity Story, Tamerwood, had a really nice little buy signal. It's a little bit of a small cap. We added it. And again, on a pretty tough day, I think this ended up about 1.25%. So all in all, those classic weekly buy signals actually outperforming on percentage terms today. Certainly outperforming were the bullish stocks, the stocks that we said were bullish. Again, some up 3%, and generally speaking, a lot more green than red, which is what you would expect from Equity Story. But I think Challenger looks good. This is a company I'm sort of just looking at the right time to enter this one as a trending stock. AWC looks absolutely fantastic again. Looks absolutely stunning, and maybe it needs to break over that sort of $2 level, but certainly one we've got to look at trending fairly soon. Again, AST, this is a stock we've said on a number of times last few weeks. It looks really bullish again, just up again today. It looks absolutely fantastic. ALQ, obviously we're trending at the moment. It's being slow but holding just above those trend lines. Macquarie, Atlas, it looks very, very good. Got no issues there. TWE, again hitting record highs. This is one where we're trending. We took profits, and it's just gone on with it, and it absolutely looks very, very, very good actually. And so does Westpac. Again, number of these banks. Again, Westpac sort of breaking out a little bit, so it looks for me very, very good. And you'd think this price action, if you can hold this sort of price action by the end of the week, you'd think that sort of $36 certainly could be a possibility. So those actually bullish stocks doing very, very, very well. Interestingly, Catapult is a company that we made a lot of money on last year. We held it. I haven't got back into it yet, and I'm sort of glad I did. It sort of had this sort of sell signal on the beginning of the week. I think we've got to watch it carefully. Again, fundamentally, we do like this story. If it can come back even lower around this sort of $2 level, it certainly could be interesting for us to add it again. And again, interestingly, SWM, one of the few stocks we said we were really bearish on last week. Again, it's down again this week. So I think those sort of weekly buy and sell signals have started the week off pretty well. I said, generally speaking, sort of you know pretty happy at the moment with most of those trending stocks. The only one we don't like is giving us a little bit of a headache is Hansen. It has had a really ugly day. I think what you got to do when you get a sometimes if it's a lousy story you cut it, but Hansen isn't. It's one of the I think one of the most one of the best sort of little growth stories on the ASX. And when we look at their report, we thought it was very good. Their revenue was up 17%. Yes, the earnings were slightly were up about sort of 7%, and that was a few currency issues, and they were integrating a few new acquisitions they've had. But all in all, when we read the report, we thought the report was excellent. Arguably, as some people are saying, well, maybe this does run on a. I don't think it's particularly high P at 24 compared to what some of the others are running on. And maybe if people are getting a little bit nervous as stocks with P's over 20, I don't think so. In some ways, you could argue maybe in some stocks, but there are a lot of stocks running on P's 25 to 35 that have recently still been trending up, and they're not even anywhere near the quality of Hansen. I think this is just a little blip. I mean, they haven't had the best sort of half yearly report compared to what they normally do. And I was talking to Peter today, our analyst, and we think it's just maybe just doing a little bit of a. Certainly IRI has never been such a good trending stock as Hansen, but just having one of these little moves. At one stage it did this IRI, and this was all. The stories never change. Again, they had great earnings growth, just had a little teething issue for a quarter, and it didn't take long for obviously that to readjust and the trend start going on again. I do think with Hansen that'll be the case. Arguably I think it's good buying. This is a company we've kept talking about actually for the last 2.5 years. Equity Story. We've got to add this as a 3-year growth. We're crazy. We haven't got Hansen on. Certainly if it went any lower, we definitely got to think of adding it. But it's I think it'll in the next few weeks it'll spring back from here, and I think this will just be a little bit of a blip, a little bit like IRI. And certainly, although we put it as a hold, I wouldn't be selling it. If anything, as soon as it starts turning up again, I think we'd be suggesting to look at it as a buy again. This is, like I said, a fantastic performing stock. It's got great recurring revenue, and and I wouldn't be panicking out of it just yet. What I would like to say is also some of the 3-year growth stories have basically been performing absolutely beautifully today, and I think I'd just like to point out some of those that I think look really quite bullish. And of those, obviously EOS, and I think this is a stock we talked about on Friday. One stage today, this was up 5-6%. Looks absolutely stunning, and like I said, the way this is trading, I think looks like potentially going to have some good news come out. Eden Energy, just get Eden Energy up. Hold on, just put the code. Looks absolutely stunning, and what a fantastic looking chart. Again, that sort of long-term chart looks so bullish. And the Eden Energy again had some sort of really good news coming out today. And I think CM8 again was up. I think it was up at sort of 9%. But I think one stock maybe that's of all those little 10 baggers, one that maybe had the most interesting price action today was Cassini. Again, Cassini was interesting because there was no news about. So possibly there is going to be some good news coming out fairly soon, Cassini, because it actually went up on quite a bit of volume. That's all I've got to talk about tonight on Equity Story, and I look forward to bringing you this report tomorrow night. Thank you. Good night.